We live in a crazy world that if we told someone from 50 years in the past how advanced things would be today, they would probably call us crazy. Internet everywhere, even in flights, and people are constantly flying around, even for different continents, all the time. People can work from home now. Can you even imagine how would this sound like in the 70s? 20 years before the internet was even popularized? I'm not sure if in the 70s the internet was actually invented already. Let me just look it up. When was the internet invented? January 1st of 1983. So yes, basically, if we told someone in the 70s that people would be working with the internet from their homes, people wouldn't even understand what this means. Today, it is easier than ever not only to visit other countries, but also to move abroad, to live in other countries. And luckily, we've been given the chance of purchasing our games digitally. So now, whenever we move, we don't have to carry lots of boxes of games together with us. There is no borders in the digital world, right? Well, let's find out. Hi, I'm Lucas Highland, and in this video we are gonna discuss how the video game companies are responding to this new behavior of people moving around all the time. And hopefully this is gonna help us understand whether or not the video game companies actually care about us, mainly a specific case of PlayStation. As some of you already know, me and my wife, who's sitting over there, have a very different lifestyle. We are close to what's known today to be a digital nomad, but not exactly. We live in two countries at the same time. We spend 2 months in Portugal and 2 months in Brazil. This way we can stay close to both our families and friends from both places at the same time. In doing so, we have huge tax benefits for legally having our business based in Brazil. But all the games I purchased along the past 14 years were bought in Portugal. And most of the games I purchased were in digital format, luckily. And with this transition of lifestyle, I had to change all the locations of my accounts and stores from digital games from Portugal to Brazil. Once most of my money is in Brazil and not in Portugal, where I only leave the money to pay my bills. And there is where the problem started. First of all, it is a big challenge to access all the location locked apps. For example, I'm a huge UFC fan and I pay the TV channel that broadcasts all the UFC events in Brazil. Of course, I wouldn't pay twice for the same service. This would be stupid and unfair. So yeah, I use a VPN to solve this problem. But for gaming, the things don't work like this. It's not a broadcast. I have the stores where my games are and I have to purchase the games inside of the stores, and I have my library of games that I already bought in the past. But luckily, almost all of the companies who sells digital games thought about the possibility of people moving abroad. So I started by moving all my PC stores and PC apps that are located in accounts and so on that are located in Portugal to Brazil. And the first one that I migrated was Steam. All I had to do was to add my Brazilian credit card, and I'm not even sure if I also add my Brazilian social security number, but boom, simple and easy. Now the same account had all of my games and all my future games that I will purchase with real, the Brazilian currency, without having to pay extra international purchase fees and currency exchange fees. Then I tried to change the location in my Epic Games Store account. All I had to do was to tell them that I wanted to change my store location while I was in Brazil. And boom, changed again. Anyway, to make this conversation a little shorter, the process was very similar to all the other accounts, including the Xbox gaming account, the Nintendo account, and so on. All I had to do was to make a purchase with a Brazilian credit card, change the account address, add a Brazilian social security number, or simply tell them, hey, beautiful store, I'm moving to Brazil, can I change the location of my account? And the answer was always a comfortable yes. Until I got my PS5 in Brazil, then the conversation changed a little bit. Well, apparently Sony is not a big fan of people who moves abroad. First of all, most of my PS4 games are also available to the PS5, so the games I purchased so far would also be available to play in the PS5 without having to purchase it again. And this includes the more than 15 games that I purchased for the PS4 and never played it, because when I bought them, I only bought them because they were on sale, but I was at college and working at the same time, so I didn't have as much time to play video games as I wanted, so I ended up having a considerably big library of games that I didn't play for the PS4 that I actually owned. But hey, I had the games and I can play them whenever I want in the future, right? And actually, yes, I can still play them and download them to play in my PS5 whenever I want. So what's the problem? Here we go. As I couldn't change my store location because Sony didn't allow me to, the prices of the games would increase for me because there are two fees I would have to pay. One because I would have to buy from another country, and the other one because I would be buying in another currency, and there are fees for these kinds of transactions. Then also the currency value changes a lot over time. This means that during this week a game can cost equivalent to $60 for me, but in the next one it can cost me 10 extra bucks because of the volatile currency. And let's not be hypocrites here, because in the Brazilian PlayStation Store the games are also a little cheaper. But I legally and officially have my tax residence in Brazil, so I theoretically and practically too have access and the right to use and purchase from the Brazilian PlayStation Store. This is so true that I actually was able to create a Brazilian PlayStation Store account, and I have been buying all my games since then in that store. And here I'm talking about my very peculiar case of living in two countries at the same time, where I still having access to my bank account in Portugal and so on. But nowadays it's very common for people to literally move definitely to another country and have no access to the old bank account or billing address and so on. Knowing this, all the platforms except for the PlayStation Store designed a way to migrate the location of your account. But hey Lucas, stop complaining and just create a new account and have both your old and new account logged in your PlayStation 5. And whenever you want to play your old games, you log in your old account, and whenever you want to play your new games, you log in your new account. Solving problem, blah 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 blah. Well, problem solved, right? No, not exactly. There are two main problems with this. First of all, what if I wanted to play my old games online? I would need to purchase one PlayStation Plus for the Portuguese account and subscribe to another one for the Brazilian account. And the second problem is that during years I paid the PlayStation Plus just to have access for the free games they give us every month, which means I would also have to subscribe to two PlayStation Plus accounts to have access to all the games I unlocked along the past 9 freaking years subscribing to the PlayStation Plus. The PlayStation Plus subscription costs 60 euros a year. This means that along the past 9 years I paid 540 euros to have access to all those PS Plus games that they supposedly gave me for free, which in my case was the main reason why I subscribed, only to lose access to all those games just because I moved to another country. Does it seem fair to you? It seems to me that Sony is worse than an immigration agent. So yeah, I ended up creating another account for Brazil, and now I don't have access to my PlayStation Plus games that I gathered along the 9 years of subscription. Weird and sad, but at least I still have access to all the games I purchased in the PlayStation Store in the past. It's not that bad, though I will never play them online again. So if you are also upset that Sony forgot to count with the possibility of the players moving abroad, subscribe to this channel. It won't make Sony change their minds about it, but at least you are gonna make me a little happy when I'm in a down moment that I just lost more than 100 games that I had access to just because I moved, just because I committed the outrageous act of moving abroad. What do you think about this whole situation? Let me know in the comments. But hey, I'm a content creator and I can do something about it. I can make fun out of it. So let's reply to all the PlayStation slogans in the past, or most of them, with something related to this, because it's easier than you think. In the PlayStation 1, there was a slogan that you are not. Like, you are not what? Allowed to move abroad? Also for the PlayStation 1, wherever, whenever, forever. Wherever? Really? Are you sure? Now for the PlayStation 2. Live in your world, play in ours. I would say that live in your country and play in ours would be a little more accurate. Now for the PlayStation 3, play beyond, Beyond what? Not borders, that's for sure. Also for the PlayStation 3, it only does everything. Really everything. It can even replace a border control agent if you want. Donald Trump was worried trying to build a wall. No, it's useless. He could just fill the United States border with PlayStation 3. They would make all the job for them. Now for the PlayStation. This is for the players. Yeah, not for the foreigners. Do you hear me? Stay in your country. And finally, for the PlayStation 5, play has no limits. Seriously? This one is so easy that I will ask you to complete it in the comments below. This conversation opens doors to a whole new topic. Do the companies behind the video game industry actually care for the players? Or is it just about the money? We are used to think of big companies as villains who only care about money. And I love to think this is not right, but sometimes these things makes me think otherwise. The video game industry used to be about fun, solving problems, and creating games were a difficult task reserved to those who were the most passionate about it. Nowadays, creativity, innovation, fun, and the players are behind what matters the most. Enormous profits. I'm not saying that the video game developers shouldn't care about the profits that the games make, because this would be just a stupid claim, but it seems that the priority is to aim for huge profits like GTA 5 that costed $265 million to develop and had more than $6 billion in revenue. This is almost a 23x profit, and this seems to be what every company in the video game industry aims for, 10 to 20x profits. And this reduces drastically their will to take risks, and it's slowly killing the video game industry. Luckily, the indie industry is here to make creative video games possible again. But this is a matter for another video. This is it. I'm Lucas Highland. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't lose the next videos. I bring you new videos about the video game industry every single week, and also give this video a thumbs up. It will help me a lot. Thank you. If you have nothing better to do, watch these other videos that YouTube is suggesting you. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to leave your opinion down in the comment section, and see you in the next video.